from deep. How about this? Mickey in his first 3 years made 25 triples. This year alone, he's up to 39. Mickey Pearson, a difference maker for the Cards.
Taking a look at the Mid-American Conference standings. There you see it, Western Michigan, Ball State in the 8 and 9 right now. So much riding on this game with only one of those teams likely making it to Cleveland.
Well, there's no question about it. And look, the big thing about this game and the 8th and 9th seeds, the #1 tiebreaker is head-to-head. Of course, Ball State won the first matchup against Western Michigan in Kalamazoo. So for the Cardinals, if they were able to win today, they would own the tiebreaker scenario.
About set to go here from Muncie. A matinee matchup with a lot riding on it. It's the Cardinals and the Broncos as we're set to roll from Worthen Arena. Tip will be between Bashir Jihad and Titus Wright. Underway, and the Broncos will start off with the basketball. B. Artis White handles the basketball for the Broncos. Quick shot does not fall, and Ball State will take over on offense, which brings us to our starting lineups, brought to you by Ball State Financial, your hometown credit union. Jalen Anderson, Mickey Pearson, Davion Bailey. Those are some of the big three scorers as of late, and then Bashir Jihad, the stretch big. This is a lineup that Coach Michael Lewis has rolled with for quite a while now.
Yeah, there's no question about it, and a hot start right there. Jalen Anderson getting on track. He had 20 points and 5 steals in the first matchup against Western Michigan, so off to a good start for Anderson.
Well, we mentioned it, Seth Hubbard not in the starting lineup for the Broncos, more of a super sub as that three rattles out from White.
And you mentioned B. Artis White with that miss. You know, in the first game between these two, B. Artis White did not play in that game, and he can certainly be an X factor.
Dwayne Stevens, second-year head coach for the Broncos, longtime assistant under Tom Izzo at Michigan State. A couple of Final Four appearances in his stead up in East Lansing. He knows his way around March, to say the least.
No question about it. And man, has he coached some great players over the years.
Cards with the early lead.
Both teams start out man-to-man defense. Cardinals have seen a lot of zone in the last couple games. Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan.
Second three from Anderson, that doesn't fall. You get the feeling that this might be a gutsy, nose-to-the-ground type of game with so much riding on it late in the season.
There's no question about it. A lot at stake. And one of the things you see early on, Sam, is Western Michigan. They are first in adjusted tempo in the league. They will run on makes and misses.
Still nothing falling on the offensive side for the Broncos. Here's Jihad, a three of his own. No good off the front of the rim. He hit the deck, but no whistle.
Here's an example of the speed of B. Artis White.
They're pushing the pace in transition. Still can't get a shot to drop.
And I think both of these coaches are thinking maybe we're settling for threes a little bit too early. See if you can't get some paint touches and then kick out for open threes.
Cardinals haven't attempted a two-point field goal yet. Anderson with the shot clock under 5 to Bailey. Couldn't get the roll off the rim, but a nice offensive board. Here's another triple. Pearson can't get it to drop, and we still sit at 3-0.
I tell you, Mason Jones, that's what he does against Central Michigan on Tuesday night. He had 5 offensive rebounds. The hustle plays, 33, that's what he gives you as a freshman. Defense, hustle. Need to stay connected to Lobsinger. He is a premier three-point shooter, number 20, and they just lost him.
Not able to connect this time. Nice rebound and the putback from Javon Hanna, and that opens the scoring for the Broncos.
Good job by Hanna there, following up, getting the putback.
Western Michigan was 0 for 4 from the field before that make. Bailey tries another three, and the miss is hauled in.
Yeah, look, the Cardinals, you can get, I mean, granted, they are a great three-point shooting team, and there you see B. Artis White getting that ball and going, but you can get that shot later in the shot clock, Sam. Against this team, the Cardinals had 21 made free throws in that first game. Try to get some fouls. Be aggressive. No need to take early threes.
Cards still looking for some penetration. Here is another three. G had another miss, and the Cards haven't connected since that first possession.
Really settling right now. Good seal down low by Wright.
And a nice turnaround finish. The big man down low, standing at 6'8", went to work against Jihad.
That started way early with Wright getting position in that restricted arc. You give a guy his size the ball that deep, might as well put it in the books.
6 straight for Western Michigan, and Ball State still can't find the cup.
Cardinals now 1 of 7.
Nice no look from White, trying to find Titus Wright down low, but it trickles out of bounds. A lightning start here from Worthen Arena. 6-3 Western Michigan, jumping out to the early lead. Mid-American Conference Basketball on ESPN is brought to you by Community Hospital of Anderson. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Weather warming up outside here in Muncie as we take a look at our keys to the game. David Ehoff.
All right, first for the Broncos, you've got to hit the freebies. I mean, look, quite simply, if they make their free throws against Eastern Michigan, they win that game. They were just 6 of 19. They're last in the Mid-American Conference at 61%. Got to limit the live ball turnovers. They are worst in the MAAC in turnovers. Cardinals in that first game had 20 points off. So you got to take care of the basketball for the Cards. You got to clean the boards. Western first in the league in offensive rebounds, and we've seen it already. Make or miss, you've got to get back on defense. This team loves to run.
Ball State has already been burned a couple of times getting back on the defensive side. But right now the concern is the offense. They are 1 of 8 from the field. Ben Hendricks has just checked in. He's the ball handler here. Turn around and a nice kiss off the glass.
Well, look, that's no accident, right? Coming out of the timeout, you know Michael Lewis said, hey, guys, let's get the ball inside. Let's work it. Don't settle for early threes. Exactly what the Cardinals did.
And what a role Hendricks has stepped into this year. By far his most productive season. As there's an offensive foul going against Javonte Brown, who's also just checked in.
Well, and that's important. Brown, a 7-footer, had 16 points in their last game. You see the little wraparound. That's his first foul. Also in instant offense, number 12, Seth Hubbard, along with Anthony Crump.
Hubbard, our impact player, as Pearson gets a nice friendly bounce, and the Cardinals have the lead back once more.
And guess what? 2 possessions. You got 1 on the block. You got a mid-range. Didn't settle. A little bit flow right now for Ball State on offense.
Things starting to click for the Cardinals. The Broncos could use an answer.
Here's a matchup here. You got the freshman Mason Jones on the leading scorer.
And a nice and one. Anthony Crump goes to work, shows off that physicality.
Well, Anthony Crump, very athletic. Folks might be familiar with the name. Spent 3 years at Northern Illinois, transferred for his grad year. But this is an area he has flat out struggled. 25% free throw shooter, 21 of 83. Was 0 for 6 in their last game against Eastern, 1 of 7 in the first matchup.
Not pretty numbers for a guy who almost shoots 50% from the field, and he misses on what have been a converted and one, but a friendly roll off the fingertips of Ben Hendricks will give the ball back to Western Michigan.
And that's just a good job by Javante Brown. Being active, free throw rebound, especially Crump, a guy under average, might be coming off the rim.
Tipped away by Bailey. He's got a 7-footer to beat, and he does.
Well, what do we talk about, Sam? Live ball turnovers. Just what you saw there, it leads to easy offense.
Back and forth here early in the first half. And a foul is going to go off ball against Hendricks. A little too physical on the elbow, thinks the official.
Yeah, that's a good job there by B. Artis White, just 5'10", but giving up your body, setting a nice screen. Hendricks tried to barrel through it. Brown goes out, Titus Wright back in.
Wright, not a bad start to the game. Had a bucket in those first couple of minutes, trying to add to that total. Off the bounce goes Crump, and that was a heck of a finish, wrapping it around the defender to give the Broncos the lead once more.
What's impressive about that, Crump is a lefty. How about that with the right hand?
Jalen Anderson up top, the true point guard for the Cardinals. Floats it up from the free throw line and gets it to drop, and now we're starting to see that variety of shots we were talking about.
Yeah, that's right. Cardinals getting to the paint, not settling. 5 early points for Jalen Anderson. Tell you, as he goes, the Cardinals go. We've been in double figures every game but 4. They lost all 4 of those.
The same can be said, though, down the stretch as Wright gets the turnaround finish. It seems when Anderson plays well down the stretch, so too do the Cardinals. But when they lose that leadership, things seem to go downhill, and already it looks like we're heading in the direction of a close one the whole way.
Yeah, no question about it. Good job again there by Wright. It all started with his positioning, getting the ball very deep in the paint. That's going to be Seth Hubbard's first foul.
Hubbard so explosive off the bench. He was on the All-MAAC freshman team last year.
You know, I talked to Coach Stevens yesterday about bringing Hubbard off the bench. He started most of the season, about 4 games ago, started bringing Hubbard off the bench. He said, look, I felt like he was pressing early on. A little bit questions on shot selection. Let's let him watch the flow of the game. He's essentially a 6th starter. He's going to play starters minutes, and he has handled it like a pro.
A testament to him as just a young sophomore to be able to adapt to that role. Anderson, 3, no good. As they look to Crump in transition. It is with Seth Hubbard, defended by Bashir Jihad. Step back 3, no good.
These teams have combined 1 for 9 from deep.
Trent Middleton Jr., the spark plug, misses in transition. He provides his own boost of energy off the bench, but it looked like Crump dribbled out of bounds. Turnover for Western Michigan, and
that's their 3rd. Cardinals have yet to turn it over, just unsuccessful from deep, just 1 of 6.
When you're shooting at that low of a clip from beyond the arc, at some point those do start to turn into turnovers if you don't grab those misses.
No question. And look, here what you're seeing, Jalen Anderson, Mickey Pearson out. You've got the media timeout coming. You really got to buy the starters rest against a team like Western because it is such a up and down pace. Good job, Michael Lewis there, getting some extra minutes.
And this Ball State team has run as few as a 7-man rotation this year, as that 3 rattles out from Bailey. So getting the starters the rest early and often is important. Hannah to the cup, shifty to the glass.
I tell you, Hannah playing with a lot of confidence. He had a really good game against Eastern Michigan, a career-high 6 triples.
Stolen away off the floater from Middleton Jr. And now the pace slows down for the Broncos. It's Jefferson de la Cruz Monegro. Off the screen, here comes Hannah. Back out to Crump with the shot clock winding down, and it's stripped away by Hendricks.
Another empty possession, now 4 turnovers. Boy, if I'm the Cardinals, got to figure out a way to give Bashir Jihad a touch.
As Ben Hendricks is down on the far side of the court, blown dead by the officials. And Michael Lewis is going to come over and have a word with him. We'll step aside with him. Close match here in Worthen Arena. Broncos still in command in what looks like it's going to be a fun one.
Ball State MAAC. All right, are you ready? He says yes. On your mark, get set, and go. Sure, fans. Seconds. Seconds left. Our last try, Kane. Fans, give Kane a big round of applause. It's the next to last game of the season. Let's give him the prize back anyway.
Back in Worthen Arena, where the Western Michigan Broncos have the early lead on the Cardinals. Sophomore slump emphasized the question mark. I think the answer is probably a no for Seth Hubbard and Jefferson de la Cruz Monegro.
Well, no question about it. I mean, look at those improvements, and that's what you want to see out of your young players and the growth. And you've certainly seen that out of both of these guys. And you know, you look around the league, Bashir Jihad right now averaging 18 a game. Guess what? As a freshman, averaged 2 points. So certainly coaching staff over at Western Michigan done a great job developing these guys. They hung around, which is also great. And that's what you like to see. And there you take a look over at Ben Hendricks on the bench. That is going to be very important. He's holding that right foot. He's had issues with the right foot. Keep in mind, freshman center Zane Dowdy out for the rest of the year. Cardinals very thin on the front line.
And Hendricks appears to be in quite a bit of pain over there. He had the shoe off for a while. He's just now retying it. As Ball State tries to find the equalizer. Step back, a long 2 from Jihad, and that rattles out. Pushing quickly as usual. Jihad is down now. Another bad sign for the Cardinals as the bucket goes.
Well, that's absolutely the last thing you want to see right now. We've already lost one Cardinal big. And Bashir Jihad, let's see what happened here.
Just kind of lost his footing.
Did he step on the foot of Titus Wright and twist his ankle?
That seems to be one of the only explanations I can come up with. He was right up in the grill of Titus Wright, facing the other way, not necessarily looking where you're putting your foot.
He is walking very gingerly off underneath the scoreboard in the back. Here's another look at it.
He did,
sure enough, he did. That left ankle, and that happens so often. And Bashir Jihad, as tough as they come. I mean, if you saw the game the other night against Central Michigan, he had a dunk where he grabbed the rim and then literally fell back and hit his full body weight and came back in the game, played, was successful. And believe it or not, it looks like Ben Hendricks is back up, getting ready to check in this game. So
yeah. Talk about tough as nails. They needed him to come back in with Jihad out, and Michael Lewis's squad facing some adversity in terms of their health here early in this first half. But Hendricks is back in. Cardinals missing their leading scorer at the moment, as well as their leading rebounder and leading blocker. But the clock rolls on. It's with Davion Bailey. There is Hendricks, and he is fouled. He's heading to the free throw line, but he seems to be of good health himself.
Yeah, they're going to get Titus Wright coming over. That was close. Good job of help defense right there, contesting. Nice pass by Davion Bailey. Hendricks, 75% free throw shooter.
We saw that Western Michigan bench get up. They thought that was a clean block there for Wright. But nonetheless, Hendricks will shoot a pair, connects on the first. As Max Burton, redshirt freshman, checks in. Both good from Hendricks. Cardinals have pulled back within one possession.
Well, Max Burton is a guy that give you good minutes, good defense. Not as offensive-minded as Brown or Wright, but a really good player nonetheless.
Off the bounce. A long two doesn't fall for Hubbard. And now the Cardinals have a chance to tie.
Cardinals getting out and run a little bit.
Halfway through the first half. Mason Jones going to work in the paint. Up top, Anderson off the screen. It's with Mickey Pearson. He had a career-high night scoring on Tuesday against Central Michigan. Shot clock winding down. Step back, long two. Bailey connects.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to credit the offense. I thought the half-court defense, the lateral movement. First it was Hannah cutting off Mickey Pearson, and then De La Cruz Monegro, and Hubbard got a hand in Bailey's face.
Both of these teams sharp on both sides of the basketball to start, as Hannah's three misses. Bailey back to back, no good.
Which team can start burying some open threes? Cardinals now 1 of 9, Western 0 for 4.
It has been a brutal start from beyond the arc. First three-point attempt of the game was that of Jalen Anderson. He connected, but since then, nobody has found one from three-point land. Burton off the bounce. He finds Hubbard. Shot clock winding down again. He tried to pull a Davion Bailey and instead chucks up an air ball.
Yeah, Hubbard struggling a little bit right now, 0 for 3.
Pearson, yes! How about that for a three to open things again?
Well, poor transition defense that time by Western. Mickey Pearson shoots it at a high rate, left him wide open.
And a foul is going to go against Hendricks on the floor.
Well, Michael Lewis wanted to travel there. Let's take a look at it. Watch the feet of Burton. Did the foul come before? He definitely traveled.
Didn't seem like there was a ton of contact there in the first place either.
Yeah, they're going to say on the floor, so end out of bounds. Now, Uriza Zagorczyk, 6'6" freshman, in for Ben Hendricks. Again, media timeout coming up by the big fella, a little extra rest.
Zagorczyk, the Croatian native. He'll go to work against De La Cruz. De La Cruz muscles his way to the rim, no good on the shot. And the ball falls out of bounds off the foot, I believe, of Jones.
Yeah, Mason Jones did everything there but grabbed a rebound. Did a good job putting a body on Titus Wright, just couldn't secure it.
Jones, a D1 hustler, to say the least. He gives it his all every second he's out there on the court.
That's the offensive rebound we've been talking about. You don't spend 19 years with Tom Izzo and bring rebounding as an emphasis to your program, and Titus Wright making them pay big time minutes early for Wright. He has not missed a shot so far. 6 points, make it 8 points.
He is the leading scorer for Western Michigan right now, the senior and the leader of that Western team. Corner three from Pearson, high bounce, flies over. And we are locked at 18. What a fun first half this has been. Cardinals and Broncos doing battle. Doesn't get much better than this on a MAAC Saturday.
Welcome to the floor, brought to you by Bash Cosmetic. It is your code, Red Dancers.
Dwayne Stevens comes to Western Michigan with a pedigree almost unmatched by anybody else in the MAAC. We talked about his time under Tom Izzo. He is a great leader, brings a ton of experience.
Well, no question about it. Look at that right there. 20 NCAA tournaments, 6 Final Fours. Coach Stevens played at Michigan State, and I talked to him about Tom Izzo and said, hey, how often do you talk? And he said, we still talk quite a bit. In fact, I was talking with Coach Izzo the other night, their game against Ohio State. Michigan State lost that game in the last 6 seconds. And so as coaches, he said we spent about 20 minutes commiserating, but certainly 19 years, and what a legacy he's left there. An outstanding recruiter and so well known throughout the state of Michigan.
Known as one of the best recruiters in the country there as an assistant. Definitely a big reason for their success over in East Lansing. Trying to turn that into some success in Kalamazoo as well. Bailey in transition off the steal, tries to do it himself, and he can't get it to fall. Pushing the pace the other way. Hannah, corner three, leaves it short. Call it a pass as the second chance drops for Wright.
And now Wright with 10 points, another offensive rebound. That is 5 for Western Michigan. Titus Wright, keep in mind, on the season, averages 5 a game, has already doubled that so far.
He has been the workhorse this afternoon as Bashir Jihad. Great sign for Cardinals fans back into the game. Not as good of a sign was that finish as Bailey fouls White in transition.
Yeah, that's good defense by Titus Wright. You know, when I talked to Coach Stevens about the players on his team. Titus Wright, he said, is a great example of a guy who is everything you want in your program. He's a team captain. This is his 3rd coach. He's been there 5 years. This is his 139th game. He says he's going to get his degree. He's matured off the court as well as on. His minutes went down when Javonte Brown came in. Didn't complain. Just a total team leader. Super proud of Titus Wright.
And in an era where the transfer portal and NIL dominates the landscape of college athletics, a testament to his character for sticking around through not just 1 coaching change, but 2. And he bleeds Western Michigan basketball.
No question. And he put in the work. He would drop from 350 to 330 pounds. He's in the best shape of his life. And there you see Crump, another example of being able to finish with either hand. The lefty, 2nd time tonight, going with the right hand.
It's the big fellas getting it done on the offensive side for Western Michigan. An unorthodox lineup right now for Ball State with Zagorczyk and Middleton Jr. both in. As Middleton Jr. pumps, drives, and kicks it out to Anderson. All the way to the glass, and the trees are there to deny for Western Michigan. Trying to find an answer in the corner. Instead gives it away to Crump. Floats it up to Wright, and he is rejected off the glass.
So they didn't score, but the Western's offense, great ball movement, very unselfish.
Deep 3, no good from Anderson. That rebound is pushed out of bounds by Hubbard.
Well, great news if you're a Cardinal fan. Bashir Jihad injured that ankle, back out there, so certainly Cardinals needed that. But basketball is a funny game. This is the same team that was 10 for 23 3-point shooting in their last game. Right now, Ball State 2 for 11. Western Michigan 0 for 6.
And Mickey Pearson.
Here's what the Cardinals needed right here.
Yeah. Mickey Pearson was 3 for 5 from beyond the arc. He has not hit from 3 in today's game. As Jihad goes to work. Couldn't get it to drop, though. Some hustle plays on defense for Western Michigan. Moving the other way, can't get it to drop, and right now nothing seems to want to fall for either side.
Cardinals have numbers.
Jones, down low, feeds Hendricks, and he is fouled. They'll call the hold against Crump.
I tell you, the rim protection right now for Western Michigan has been outstanding. There has been nothing easy, even on offensive rebounds. The Cardinals not able to get anything in and around the rim. Credit the shot blockers and guys contesting for the Broncos.
Deep 2 from Bashir Jihad, and good to see him get rolling on the offensive side for Ball State. That's his first points of the afternoon.
Yeah, if you think about it, Sam, Cardinals leading scorer was 0 for 4. Broncos in Hubbard 0 for 3. Both of these teams need their big guns to get going.
And that is reflective on the scoreboard. A low-scoring first half as a smooth finish from White gives the lead back to Western Michigan, or should I say gives them a 4-point lead back. Here's Jalen Anderson. Inside 4 to play here in the first half. Anderson looking for penetration. Gets the handoff, and that defense is so collapsed in for the Broncos. Hendricks trying to go to work himself. 4 on the shot clock. Deep 3, Middleton Jr. no. Rebound picked up by Middleton Jr. Out to Jihad. The stretch big connects from deep.
Offensive rebound leading to an open 3. Credit Ben Hendricks doing a good job keeping that alive.
And a quick whistle as Crump tried to drive. Inside 3.5 to play. We will have Western Michigan basketball when we come back on the other side of this media timeout.
The kick out. Jihad. Finally a 3-ball goes for the Cardinals.
Once again, on the visitor side, our contestant is Parker. Parker at 5 3-point attempts. Everyone is a $10 gift certificate to Meyer. Are you ready? Get set and go. There's 10 bucks. Three more shots. Two more tries. Good luck, Parker. All right, one last chance. Here we go, Parker. Good job. $20 in Meyer gift certificate, courtesy of the Meyer 3-point challenge. Fans want to win a Ball State fan pack? Tell us what you think. Scan the QR code.
Well, if the tournament started today, this is what it would look like. You see Western Michigan in the 8th seed would face off against Akron. Ball State out of the picture, though, E.
Yeah, they are. That's why this game is so important. With a win today, that would give them the tiebreaker over Western Michigan. Keep in mind, you've got 2 more games to play, so still a lot to be decided. I think what's unique, Sam, when you look at that bracket is I can't remember a time when there was so much parity when you get to a neutral site. There, yes, Akron is the #1 seed, but we've seen them get knocked off. Anything can happen if you just get to Cleveland, which, you know, is to me going to make it such an interesting couple days, because it would not shock me if any of those 8 teams makes a run get to the finals.
And nobody really jumps off the page at you as the overall favorite. Akron, of course, has at least taken care of business up to this point to secure that 1 seed, but
another offensive rebound by Titus Wright. What a game he is having.
it's been a solid first half for him. White makes that offensive rebound count, and the lead is back out to 4.
And that is now 11 second chance points.
That is the first 3 as well from Western Michigan.
Just something, when you get paint touches or offensive rebounds as opposed to 3s early in the shot clock, your percentages just go up.
Trying to answer with a 3 of his own is Middleton Jr. No good, and a collision on the board as Worthen Arena voices its frustration. On the other end, De La Cruz over to Lobsinger. He tries a 3, no good, and he's going to snag his own miss.
Nobody boxed Lobsinger out.
Another 3, this time money from De La Cruz Monegro. Lead out to 7 for Western Michigan here towards the end of the first.
More second chance points, right? An offensive rebound. That's been the story right now. 7 O boards.
A nice answer from Bashir Jihad. That took some guts to be able to pull up there with Western Michigan feeling the momentum. Stripped away, and Jihad gets it done on the other end.
6th turnover for the Broncos.
Jones finds Middleton Jr. He goes up, has to float it over right, can't get it to fall, and goodness, this game has gotten physical here in the past couple of minutes, as a traveling violation is going to be whistled against Western Michigan.
And Dwayne Stevens going nuts. There's another great example of rim protection. It didn't go down as a block shot, but a great job of contesting. And Dwayne Stevens wanted a foul there on Trent Middleton. I can't argue with him, but body's hitting the deck. Man, it definitely starting to feel like March here.
Both of these teams recognizing the intensity that they need to bring for today's game, as Ball State burns a timeout here towards the end of half number 1.
You can read Coach Stevens' lips talking to an official, John Campbell, saying, hey, our guy had the position. He retained possession and then got knocked down. How can that not be a foul?
We take a look now at the offensive rebounding we've seen from Western Michigan.
That's been the
solid
story.
putbacks. It
8
definitely has.
offensive rebounds leading to 14 second chance points. Titus Wright has been the man. 10 points on 5 of 6 shooting, 4 rebounds. I mean, look, Cardinals playing good initial defense, but 14 of the Broncos' 30 points, second chance.
You can see it on your screen. Second in the MAAC in rebounds per game. Best team in terms of offensive rebounding. As Ball State chucks away a turnover, giving the ball back to Western.
Yeah, they inserted Davion Bell. He's got those 2 fouls. They were going to try to get him a shot out of an end out of bounds. Didn't work, so Michael Lewis gets him out of there with those 2 fouls.
White off the bounce for Western Michigan. Lobsinger, the deep threat.
They've done a good job staying connected to Lobsinger.
Ball is poked away from Pearson. It'll be Cardinals basketball with a minute and some change to play here in the first.
So there's the difference, right? So we talk about the offensive rebounding. It's the turnovers for Western. Their empty possessions, they've got 7 to just 2 for the Cardinals. There's no question about it for each team what they have to shore up going into halftime. Got Crump on Bashir Jihad. Let's see if the Cardinals don't try to get him a touch.
Not before Middleton Jr. is whistled for a travel. And Michael Lewis is never going to be happy about that.
Now they had a set play. Just the 3rd.
Michael Lewis also in his 2nd year as head coach here at Ball State. Western Michigan trying to add to their lead with under a minute to play. It's White against Jones. Shake and bake, and he gets it to fall.
Tell you, B. Artist White is so quick. Mason Jones is a great defender, but at 6'7", trying to stay in front of a guy with that kind of crossover, not easy.
7 points for White. 13 seconds between the shot clock and the game clock. Western Michigan's going to probably see the basketball again.
Good job there by Hanna at only 6'4", taking on the 6'7" Pearson.
Anderson with his team down by 6. Kicks to Jones. A triple. Corner, and that's an air ball. White is fouled in transition. Western Michigan is going to retain this possession.
Mason Jones just needs to get one of those to fall. He is now 2 of 19 in MAAC play. He's certainly capable. He is a good shooter. You watch him in practice, he can drain it, but just no confidence right now. I mean, that was great offense. Anderson got to the paint, kicked it open, wide open corner 3. Now, if you're Western, make sure you get the last look here.
It is with White.
Got the
trying
switch.
to add to that lead, and he's going to be fouled. He's actually going to be shooting from the free throw line to end this first half. Not what Ball State wanted to do, is give away a couple of free shots.
Not at all.
Just a step in there from Middleton Jr. Caught the knee of White, and he's not complaining about that.
No, that's big. I mean, bailed him out with 1.6 on the game clock. B. Artist White, 78% free throw shooter.
And for a first half that had quite a few lead changes, White misses, tosses it up again, can't get it to drop. And that is how we head to halftime. It was back and forth, but Western Michigan played solid down the stretch, held Ball State scoreless for the last minute and 47 seconds of that first half. The Broncos take a 6-point lead here in Muncie.